Ave Maria and welcome to another episode of Booklog. Over the last few years, the Academy of the Immaculate has begun to issue a series of books by Father Emile Neubert. These are being published in English, and for some of these books it's the first time they've ever been published in English. Father Neubert was a priest of the Society of Mary. He was born in France in 1878. He was ordained a priest in 1906, and the following year he was awarded a doctorate in theology. His doctoral thesis was on Mary in the pre-Nicene Church. Father Neubert was a gifted scholar and spent his entire life in the service of God's Holy Mother. Amongst his many friends and correspondents were Frank Duff, founder of the Legion of Mary, and St Maximilian Mary Kolbe. Father Neubert died in 1967. Today, let's have a look at this book here, Mary and the Priestly Ministry by Father Neubert. Let's start with chapter 1. It opens with a quote from Pope Pius XII's apostolic exhortation, Menti Nostrae, in which the Pope formally urges the priests to have a special devotion to Mary. Later on, Father Neubert says that experience shows that devotion to Mary succeeds and that its absence leads to mediocrity and even to failure. In chapter 2, which is headed Mother of Christ Priest, and in a special way Mother of every priest, Father Neubert writes, Christ received his human nature from Mary. The Blessed Virgin then is involved in making the Son of God our priest. He received his sacerdotal vocation from the Father. His sacerdotal anointing is the grace of the hypostatic union, gift of the Father, or more exactly of the Holy Trinity. But it is his human nature that enables the Son of God to be priest, and it was Mary who gave it to him. Later on, Father Neubert takes us to the foot of the cross, and this is where he says, It was to John that Christ confided Mary. That is because John was a priest, and it is to priests above all that Christ gives his mother, because he has a greater love for them, and they have a greater need of her. Part 2 of the book is entitled Mary Forms the Priest. Now let's have a look at chapter 7. And Father Neubert says, Priests must learn how to be priests. They are merely surrogates, instruments of the Christ priest, but not blind instruments. Christ wishes to use them as ministers who are intelligent, deliberate, free and responsible. Ministers who are resolved to imitate his priestly dispositions as perfectly as possible. It is under the guidance of Mary that he will best learn to reproduce them. Other chapters in this part of the book deal with total consecration to the Blessed Virgin Mary, meditation, acquiring priestly humility, poverty, chastity and obedience. Let's have a quote here from chapter 15, which is acquiring priestly poverty. Father Neubert writes, A priest who has learned poverty in the school of Jesus and Mary is a powerful apostle. He is strong and free because he is not preoccupied with the many exigencies of upper-class life. He is infinitely happier with his impoverishment and privations than the man who tries to satisfy his every whim. He gives of himself completely. He becomes all things to all people in order to win them for Christ. He is almost indifferent to his personal needs, but he gathers large sums for his apostolic works. He knows how to guide and comfort the poor. He knows how to speak to the rich to make them aware of their duties and the dangers they face. He speaks with the frankness of an ambassador of Christ. In the final part of the book, which is headed Performing Priestly Ministry with Mary, there are chapters on celebrating the Mass with Mary, praying the Divine Office with Mary, administering the sacraments with Mary, and many other chapters. Let's have a look here on chapter 30, which is entitled The Responsibility of Making Mary Known. Father Neubert writes, It is not enough to encourage the faithful to have devotion to Mary. They must be given sound Marian doctrine to nourish this devotion. A purely sentimental devotion melts away like the emotion that prompted it. Sentiment vacillates, doctrine endures. True devotion is based on doctrine. This is, I think, it's a very necessary read for all priests. It's 270 pages, and it's a small book that you can probably fit inside your pocket. And I think every priest should read it. Details of how the book can be obtained will appear on the screen at the end of this video. So thank you for listening, and maybe we'll close with a prayer of St Anselm that Friar Neubert quotes in one of the appendices of his book. O good Jesus, by the love with which you love your mother, grant, I beseech you, that I may truly love her as you loved her and desire her to be loved.